Welcome to Healing Space with Jen Tilley, or with JentlyHealing. I'm Jen Tilley, and I'm grateful to be here with you guys. So, whether you got that twice, I'm not sure. I hope you guys have had a really awesome day. I have kind of been on really a journey since I left you guys, and I've been thinking about how I would maybe articulate that to you guys or just kind of see how the flow goes. It is very interesting when you do the self work and you can get these things that feel very much like downloads coming into the system. And last night, especially, I felt like I really kind of received that, but it was more of something that I already knew that I knew. Hello, Willow. Nice to see you. And Sammy, yes, I didn't know if you were going to be here, Sammy. I didn't, I saw you sent me a message, and I want to say hello, and I love you, and I'm glad you're here. And yeah, I got quite a lot of messages today. Hi, Robert. Oh, I want to make special thank you, thank you. I played the second meditation video that you had put together of us, and I really love that, and I love being able to start the show and having like these couple different options of what do I feel today, and the things that I've been seeing is there's a lot of high energy out there, so that's where I was like, maybe I'll just start the show with the longer meditation that was put together, and just kind of have us all settle into the space one by one, and yeah, I'm just so grateful that you've done that for us, so that we have other options, to kind of cohere with one another as we're coming in. It's really rad. Yes, and sending mucho positivity as well. And Zach, I love you too, and glad that you are here as well. Yeah, so getting back is just kind of talking about what it's like to kind of just get different information and remember that it's almost like you already knew these things. And I had just really good dialogue with Zach last night after the show, and he just asked the right like kind of probing questions, and I was just like, I know our minds work like computers, and as you guys have like followed me, you can see that like I'm just learning the computer system, and I think that it was just like really important for me to learn that and to continue that process of learning it, because with we're receivers, so we have like we have access to all the information, and so really like understanding what we are and what we have, what we're working with essentially, is very beneficial. And if my mind works like a computer, and there's been many things that I've learned about computers, I see my mind operating kind of what I would imagine computers to be with my limited computer knowledge. And so it's it's a fascinating well, it's an interesting process when it comes to this. And so, just even with last night, it was like, okay, so if we're operating like this, and, we have these perceptions, like all of us are like, our realities are our own unique experience. Nobody has been with us every moment or every second till right this moment. It hasn't happened. It's only been you this whole time. And when you start to break down that aspect, that there is a lot of things in our reality that we see very, very differently than other people do. And this is where, I also talk about those emotional lenses, because there's certain traumas and certain things that we're holding on to that give our realities just enough kind of a twist. So it really is a kind of an experience of just one. And so, so with getting to like, understanding, like I want to be able to see my reality. If it works on as an operation, like as it works on cycles, like well, I'm just looking deeply, and Zach just like last night just started asking me these questions, and it kind of took me back to like a DMT experience I had once. And in that, like I literally was put inside like this computer system, and I was the ball. And what I had perceived inside that space is nothing seemed to ever break. But each one of like these balls were us, was our energies. We were all like working as one whole unit of a system. And it's never quite left me. It's just like this mechanic and this piece that I needed to know and understand. And though it had been, several years since this trip that I'm talking about, it really, it's kind of like always been there. And so I started to realize that, there's this aspect of, in our realities, we have to perceive things as broken, but everything has consciousness. Everything is in the system. And what I had perceived was, it was as if nothing was broken, but into this projected reality, there is broken. And as I started to dig deeper onto like the core root of those kind of aspects, it we are exactly where we are for a reason. And we are changing all the time. That is the one guarantee in this reality. So things have to break in this reality in order for things to be fixed, if you will, or change or transpire or transcend. And so it just started to give me like this very different look at it, that if we're operating in this reality, we have to also be broken in order to be, whole, or the highest version of ourselves, or whatever we want to call that. And that process is like part of the mechanic, and it's not actually ever broken. In fact, like in the inverse, it is complete opposite of that, because we're infinite beings, and we go on and on and on from here. And when we're looking at, the finality of death that we perceive in this reality, it's just far from the truth. We're infinite beings, and always have been. And that's why, even when we talk about the healing of going forwards and backwards, like go rewrite that past, that history, because it just isn't accurate to who you are today and who you were then. And so, yeah, I mean, the past is it's all our perception, and it's important for us to not operate with those, levels of trauma, so that we can be that. And when we are like looking, what does it mean to be the higher version of ourselves, and that we already are actually that when we call it in. But, the other aspect is, what does it mean to be higher, or for higher? Like it's really like your higher version of yourself is like you hiring that within this vessel. You literally hire it. You're now the employee of it. You're the governor of this higher version. But if you keep operating on these habituations of the past versions of yourself, well, the employee is not going to remain so happy, or there's aspects where it's going to end up leaving. And and so, I mean, but every day you can rehire yourself back in, but your higher version of yourself is always here. It's just up to you to be able to pay the dues of what it means to be that higher version of yourself. And every day you give yourself an opportunity. I give myself an opportunity when we cycle back things. I talk on this show a lot about having, anxiety, and my anxiety got so severe that, I would hyperventilate myself with it. And next thing I know, I'm having these non-epileptic pseudo seizures for, this magnitude of time. And so anxiety is something like I've looked at a lot. And when I talk about like when you identify something, when I identify with somebody that has anxiety, and I say you identify it, I don't really necessarily mean it as a spirit coming into you. I mean it's an operation that comes in that has its own agenda. If you're identifying with anxiety, that means that it must operate within your system. And so, so when it's not so much as a spirit as it is a mechanic, just like magic isn't so much magic per se as it is also a mechanic. And so, anyway, so with like the anxiety, like it comes in and you identify it. And it was like yesterday I received this download of information, and this information that I'm kind of sharing with you now, these things that just kind of clicked on in my brain, that it's like things do have to get broken, or that I've always been there. And this just means that there's aspects that I have been running as an operation within, like identifying anxiety. And so I was aware today going into this day that there was a high probability that something like anxiety would be much louder. And that's just because now I'm being a governor and actually being aware of it. I have called it out based off of seeing that there is nothing to fear here. We are already the best version. And in fact, if we do perceive, like if you keep following your heart and taking the next right indicated step for you, like even if it was a mistake, you will be strong enough to know how to navigate there and be able to make the next right step. So it really, like, as you see it more as a mechanic, there isn't the need for the anxiety. It's a very more calming, like, oh, a logical aspect to it. And so today it was just kind of watching that mechanic where there was this moment where I'm like, oh gosh, why do I feel more tense? And it's like I can see these operations I run through my mind, like, oh, have I eaten? Like check these different steps of where I am. And really it comes down to the fact that if I well, the anxiety is just something that will be a mode that I will end up operating, or I'll be the governor being able to turn that operation off, if that makes sense. I think it does make sense. Yeah. Yeah. So it has been a very, very cool kind of day on just like looking really deeply within and just kind of seeing like, okay, so like the other day I talked about the art of war, and it's like we tell on ourselves. There's these signs that will come, like when the flock of birds go flying or the beasts go running, there's a warning sign to that. And so when you're really being aware of your surroundings and also being kind with yourself, because we've been pretty darn cruel to ourselves for a very, very long time. I mean, historically speaking, tracking back. So we just now are building those tools within our genetic structure. So yeah, it's not going to be surprising that some of this might feel a little scary because it's new. But know that things that are broken are only making room for the other parts of the beautiful creations that you have, that ability, the magnificence within inside of you. And just when you start to just meet yourself at these spots, love yourself there. Let's say you tripped a bit and it didn't, like, you got absent-minded and something happened. You just see that you were there. There is no like parent that's going to come running over and hug it out. Oh, it's going to be okay. You're the one that comforts you. You're the one that does that job, and you need you. And so, yeah, there's so many awesome kinds of ways to be able to perceive this reality so that you don't have to be in hell anymore. I feel like very much like so much of our perspective has been like this reality has been hell, and heaven is right here, and it's right inside of you, and it's inside of me. It's inside of all of us, and we're all working together as a system, and and things are grander than we could ever imagine. So it's been. Yeah, it's been a really, really cool journey today. And in some points where it felt like I tripped on myself, like I would say a couple things that I'm like, duh, like I can't even believe that came out of my mouth, And then at the same time, I was just like, that was just where I was, like I had a moment where I was thinking on something else because, I was sensing kind of the anxiety popping in. But the truth is there was nothing to fear, and there was no reason for it. And I already had all the tools within me to navigate that. I also have really rad people in my life, like Zach. I say him because, well, right away, he's the first thing that comes to my mind that just like really helps me navigate those situations too. And it's yeah, so reality is pretty awesome when you are just following your heart. And yeah, and it's pretty fascinating too, because especially when I have like these levels of downloads, like the magnitude of people, like I'm a magnet, like so many people end up reaching out that I haven't heard from for like a very long time, and it's been a process of just like being filled with an abundance amount of love. Like the messages like I used to receive, like I said, like I have a bunch of like Jasmine and I talked about this yesterday. Like I like went through this period of time where I got thousands of friend requests on my like Facebook. And some of them are really creepy dudes, guys. And I just didn't know. Like there was just so many that I was just like, well, I guess we'll just find out. And so my block list is really high and but like for a really long time because I was very isolated, I really didn't like have a lot of people that I talked to. I was just doing a lot of internal self work and also not having confidence in myself in what I could talk about. I was just, there was a lot. Like I really believed that I had like a comprehension. When I was in fifth grade, I was put into like a special reading class for comprehension disorder. This should have been something that I forever was not forever, like it like actually continued to work on. Like once I was past fifth grade, it was like, oh, you're okay now, you know? But what I had found like later on in life, because I had not put a whole lot of focus to that, I would just then go on to have deeper levels of test anxiety and have to study 10,000 times harder than everyone else and all this kind of really hardships with that. I really like later on when I started to really target to figure out what my problem was with comprehension. And it really started when I questioned memories. Like, where do they come from? They just can't really, like, they're not real. And so it's kind of like trying to repeat that last sentence I said exactly like I just said it, though you just heard me say it. It's almost impossible to even just repeat that one sentence exactly back. And when I realized that that was true for this reality, that, you know, my memories and all of that were really, really distorted, because I literally couldn't, like, I was not memorized with my memories. No doubt about it. It was only like I could only comprehend at the level I was at. So here comes in that comprehension. So what is going on within my mind? I knew that when I was reading that I was thinking about other things. That was a very big clue. I really had to then look at the fact that oftentimes when I was even communicating with people, I was thinking about many other things. I was multitasking beyond multitasking within my mind and not really allowing myself to be present here in this reality because of that. It would be like I was only partially in, very partially in. And so I started to look at what kinds of thoughts did I think were more important to me than this reality and hearing the person I love very much and like comprehending and then being engaging with the conversation. And so with the comprehension, you know, I did studies. I did like I started to like take tests and play games with it and just really like try and dissect my comprehension. And really like a big part, like I said, was really the reading and also watching my thoughts, stopping like I would be talking to one person and in my mind thinking about another person or a dialogue and conversation. This got quieter when I cut most everyone out of my life. Like I really separated from everyone so that because I knew that I was having a lot of blame. I was a victim is what I identified with. And so I knew that it wasn't my father. I knew it wasn't my mother. I knew it wasn't any of these people because, you know, they were very little in my life. And yet I was still doing that behavior because I was still reliving those things and jumping back into the coping mechanisms that I built from past events. And so I had to separate, stop blaming people, look really deeply internally within and understanding that, the answers were to really calm my mind. And so, it's where else? I know I've jumped kind of slightly all over the place, but where deeper do I go with this? So it's just really programming my mind and realizing that multitasking, like it's just kind of like a fallacy. We really if we're going to be doing a job, why are we going to be doing partial jobs? We should be able to complete one job well and then go on to the next job well. When we have the people in front of us, to love and care about them well. When we're with ourselves, the same goes. And so if we're really constantly berating and having these looping thoughts or past traumas that we're still being affected by, we're not taking care of ourselves. And we're actually hurting ourselves, literally, and it's distorting our realities. And it operates on mechanics, so it's just going to create more of that. The universe is listening, so it says you need more of that, and you obviously need to learn this, so it's going to become louder, so that you can. And we often, like, not we, but like I am the type that would take it to the ultimate pain, like places of pain. I used to call it the hurty way. Like, I like to do everything the hurty way, and once it hurts enough, then I'll make the effective changes. That needed to go, that mindset. It had to go. I can tell you that there are still sometimes the aspects when you find yourself in moments of self-sabotage or self-avoidance that you are then doing it the hurty way again, because you're avoiding self. You're not doing, and you're in inverse. You're in your coincidental opposite, because it is about creating that happy life. It's kind of like, yeah, you got to just listen to your heart and what you want to do most. We're creators, and we're on a path, and I think that we're all getting to a point where, well, we're completely unifying, and reality is coming very, very differently. And it's a really, really rad time, and a lot of us are really getting to see that. And when we clear our minds and we silence it, it gets really crazy and awesome and psychedelic out there. You can do a lot of really fun things. Like talking to animals, like that's totally possible. Like, I think I've shared this story, but I like it. Like, because it was like that, like one of those that was just like spoke to duality and where I was, but it was like so excited to see this lizard and be like, hey, I could do this really rad thing with my mind, because I was so proud of myself. And it was like, I've learned how to silence my thoughts so I can hear what you have to say if there's anything you want to share with me. And I'm saying this inside my mind. I could say it out loud too. I mean, it wouldn't matter whether it was like inside or outside, but I was just saying it. And all of a sudden this lizard came right to the edge of the bush because he had scurried inside, and he looked right at me. And I just, like, in that moment, we locked eyes, and I closed my eyes. I cleared my mind. And it was just like, I saw this image of this black and white face of the lizard. And then he like knew that I saw him as serpent as well, and he's explaining, yes, he is part of the serpent medicine, but he was showing me the shadow side and the light side based off of his face. And then all of a sudden, in my like right eye, though it was closed, but this right side, it's just, and this is wisdom side, started flashing this white card, this like square white card that had this symbol of a dragon on it, just black and white, and it was like flashing it like, see this. And I just kind of laughed to myself and even to the lizard, and I was just like, how am I ever going to find this symbol? What am I supposed to do with the black and white symbol of the dragon? Could you imagine? What am I supposed to just Google this and look black and white symbol of a dragon and just be able to find this? How do I know more? And so, here I question, but at the same time, it just flashes, and I see it, and I take note that it's in kind of like an S-like shape, kind of like an Asian dragon, but it was not Asian at all. It would look more like a crest dragon, like a European one. And so that's kind of what I got from it, was like kind of really make sure that it was definitely looked European, like a crest, but it was more in like this S shape. And so then it like brought me back and showed me like about more with duality, and then I thanked the lizard and I went on my way, and I just kind of laughed to myself about this symbol, and I just kind of like took maybe 2 or 3 days. I kept thinking to myself, like, what am I supposed to just Google that? And and so I end up like a few days later doing another just meditation with myself, and this image just flashes with it, and I'm like, what, am I distracting myself here? Like, what, again, am I supposed to just Google it? And so finally I stop my meditation and accept the distraction, if you will, and I just Google in laughter of just black and white dragon, or black and white symbol of a dragon. And I shit you not, the very first picture that comes up is this same dragon. And I was like, oh, what the heck? And I guess if I was to go on, I would need to tell you also that I was in St. George, Utah. And I had just left Sedona. And sometimes when I move locations, like I'm breaking attachments of places, like what brought me to this spot, and to some parts of me, it's breaking attachments. So sometimes I'm not like ecstatic about where my next location is, but I end up falling madly in love with every place. It definitely seems that way. But anyway, but it was like if we were in St. George, Utah, and I was working on myself and my shadow sides and alchemy and all that funness. So anyway, I'm back to this meditation, you guys. And so I Google in, see this image, and I'm like, what the heck? And I pull it up, and it has a story attached to it. And it's the story, like this symbol of the dragon is the one that is most known for the dragon that hides the gold or protects the moat. And the man, the saint that comes in to slay this dragon, to slay and get his gold, the greatest alchemist, his name is Saint George. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? I'm like reading about this Saint George. This is the image that was coming to my mind, and it is telling me you're here to slay your dragons, to get your gold. And it just was like, and the balancing, like of the duality of self. And it just like, it's really rad, guys, to just like have other things to look at and see and do, rather than talking about what I would have said to Sammy Joe over there, and yeah, so yeah, or what I can like do, taking care of yourself. And then you're also able to just start to see the mechanics coming in, like, oh, yep, download, high probability I'm going to have these things inside the system that are triggered that don't want to stop working. Because if I stop like identifying with the anxiety, that anxiety no longer operates in my system. Just like when I was drinking an abundance of alcohol and I stopped drinking the alcohol, and then once I stopped thinking about drinking the alcohol and being free from that aspect, like that alcohol no longer exists within my reality, other than, oh, sometimes my friends over there like to drink or whatever it is. Like it's not like the same kind of like it's fine. Like it's like not within me anymore. It just like it's, and alcohol exists in reality out there, and so it permeates in my reality just like it would anybody else. And so it's just like a mechanic that you stop operating, and you stop operating it like the governor that you are. And also the observer who catches those things. Hey, the flock is a flying, the heart is a twittering. Yeah, you just release chemicals instantly right there into your system. What chemicals do you need to balance that? What do you need to do here? How are you breathing? Because your reality just got distorted. You just had an influx of chemicals coming in, and then you meet yourself there, and you transcend whatever negative behavior you might have ended up operating before when you were identifying with, let's say, same thing, said anxiety. So yeah, it was really, really rad having these downloads the last few days, and just like just communing with the universe, with the different plants and different things. There's just a lot to learn out there, and it's really, really cool. And I'm very grateful, and I'm grateful to be here with you guys. I just had this flow in thinking that I wanted to share that an update, because I haven't gotten an update about Gina. So if anyone is here and wondering, she had left me a message before she had gone into the ER, and saying that she might be in there for a couple weeks, but she would check in when she could. So I'm still just sending her lots of love and lots of energy. So it's not like surprising not to like hear from her. She pretty much basically said she, don't worry. And so, and again, don't place worry. Like worry is an energy that we don't want to have in the system. It really is about belief. So if you start getting scared or worried about it, you're feeding that into the system, and we don't want to do that. That's inverse to what we're trying to do. It is about that kick-ass belief in Gina. always from here. So I care. I care deeply about each one of you. I mean, it should be the same operation. Not, I mean, for Gina, especially when we're saying I love Gina, I'm sending her lots of love and kisses, and I want to honor that for a moment before. But yeah, that's great. It's you know, like the same also goes with, you know, anybody out in the reality, like to spread that worry. You're only telling the universe that there's something to worry about, and it will create something. So, you know, managing and minding that, and that's good. I just saw the first. I have not been looking at the post at all. I've just been on my flow, but yeah, definitely. I've been sending Gina lots of love and healing. I know it. I can feel your energy so much pumping in, Sammy, and I've been sending you as well so much love and healing energy. So it's going right back, and don't you forget either to do that for yourself, because it is we're all connected, and we're all healing here. And so, Sammy, you're a badass, and I like literally I'm your story is cool. It's really cool. I'm grateful that you've come onto this show so people could hear it. I know it's been painful, and I see that. And but it's also been really, really rad too. And we're balancing that out right now. And don't you worry, it's a dance. It is. It's sometimes you take a couple steps forward and what perceives a couple steps back. But you know, if we're living in our past, of course it's going to do that. You're going forwards and backwards. So it's just emulating this, you know, and it's just that's why I say, like, be honest here. Like, you guys, if you're having a tough time, like, we're here in this space together. We love each other very, very much, and we're creating that dynamic of unification. So it's very probable that many others are feeling the same way you are. There's a lot of instability, if you will, outside in the world and permeating around us. Like, people will pop in and from my past, and they are very worried and very scared, you know, and I am just here to try and squash that, because reality is operating exactly as it should be. And we're badasses. We're so much more than we could even conceptualize. And if we are, let's say, just that computer system, and we could just program it. You can just program yourself to be healed. You can just program it. You can program the chemicals to be released at certain times. You can program your breath and getting it in a positive habituation of, this is getting breath deep into my lungs, deep into my belly. As like with me, I used to breathe up high in my chest. Now I breathe lower, and I don't have seizures and panic. I breathe lower, so I run that mechanic, and so, you know, rewriting or not having attachments like to the past or to the future, but being just here now, and grateful that we are here right now. And again, if you look around and you don't like what you see, you have all the ability inside of you to go and get it and build it, because we're builders and creators. And we have amazing imaginations if we just played with it. I don't think we were really, a lot of us, especially with our school systems, taught us imagination. You're not going to just noetically learn it. You go and do that outside, like inside and outside. I mean, you go and do that. You go and learn about it. But it's definitely, imagination's an inside job to the outside job. But anything you can imagine is possible. There's so many things that show that. The double slit experiment says that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. That's why, like, things like watching the television, like, things are being created out there. They're being projected. They're like, look at this. We imagined this. Now we're going to step that down and create it kind of in this reality. I mean, it's inside and outside in our realities. There's creations and there's lots of destruction. And again, right back to the broken things. It's like only you can perceive it. Like, Let's say the camera broke and it didn't. It didn't in this reality. The camera is perfect and beautiful and operating at the best. But in some other projected reality, the camera broke. And yet, every time you close your eyes, you can imagine it still not being broken. You could imagine it still working and taking really amazing photographs. In fact, inside your mind, you could create new photographs inside that camera. And in fact, you could utilize that camera every time as a mechanic, thinking about that specific one once you go out and maybe replace and get another camera. But that camera now becomes inside your mind, inside more active in your reality than it ever was in this projected reality out here before it broke. Yeah. There's... we perceive that things die and go away, and we're infinite beings, guys. It goes on and on. All things, everything. So it's pretty rad, and it's pretty rad that we get to be here together and create those things. So, breathe, love yourself, balance. If you're going through some painful stuff, go do the things you actually want to do. Don't buy into your own depression. Don't depress that beautiful system. Don't make that choice. It just makes it harder to crawl out and create the other thing, because you just are building geometry and magnets all over you, just asking for more of it. It's like when I pulled myself out of my depression, now anything that I think about out there, any great loss or anything, like, it's not worth it to go into that level and state of depression. I feel like I already experienced the magnitude of grief that I could have ever conceptualized at this point in my life. I feel like I've done those things. And really, like, if I look at any aspect, like if I got back there and the choice that I would make to either be depressed about it or pull myself out, it is not worth going the other way. I see that now. That's why I see myself as more of a badass. Like I healed something about myself when it came to depression or having panic attacks and seizures. I learned something. I learned how to stop hurting myself like that. I learned that reality in life was much better to have pure laughter, not fake, but pure, because that's love, coherence. I have that in my reality now, and I experience it because I have that semblance inside myself. And all it took was just making a different choice on many, many things. And stopping my mind from looping stupid shit. That why waste my energy on that when I could use that energy over here? So, yeah, man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be here with you guys. I'm going to take a moment and come see. There's not tons of comments, so I'm going to look at these and take a moment with that. So if you have any questions or anything you want to say, I'm about to read comments. So Willow said, it's been a great 24th for me. I learned how to use Premiere Pro. Oh, 24 hours. 24th. I'm like, what? Oh, that is awesome. Good. See? And you were learning. And it's so cool, man. It's cool to learn new skills and trades and tricks. It's really cool. Like, we used to be told you got to go to college to go do that, or school to go, whatever. And we have all the things we'd ever want to be, like all the information. We could be doctors if we wanted to without, but like all the information, like we could learn everything a doctor could and more, it's so true. But yeah, I'm so proud of you, like learning and taking initiative like that. Those things really keep you awakened and keep reality really super rad. Like when you start to go and do that self-work and dig on yourself, like there's rewards. Like even when it comes to like clairvoyance and clairsentience and all the clairs, whatever. Like, but there's all these really rad things we can do. And yeah, it's cool. Each one, we're all unique. We all have these special gifts. So what is yours? I want to know. Hi, Jasmine. Having dinner with my family, so I'll catch up with you all later. Hope you're having a great day. Oh, sending you lots of love back. I think you wrote that a while ago, but I'm glad that you checked in. And hello, Jacob. I'm so happy to see you in here. That is so awesome. Yeah, I just my flute playing buddy. We're gonna get him back on the show here in a little bit. Because he just he has something really very special with his gifts and his flautist skills that just really cause a lot of really rad effects. So grateful you're here, Jacob. You're super rad. Vishwendra, hi. I don't know, like, what do you go by? Hello, welcome, Vishwendra. Sign, aka Uncle Vix. Okay, also known as Uncle Vix. Well, hello, Uncle Vix, and welcome. Welcome if you're still in here. I think that is a new name that I have not seen in here before. If you want, do you want us to call you Uncle Vix, or do you have a preference on your name? It would be a question that I have. Yes, welcome. I was in a special reading group too in grade school. It wasn't that I struggled understanding words, more so that I just didn't want to read. Nothing was interesting enough to keep me focused. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Like there was something more, like better to think about, and literally, like a lot of the things we were reading were definitely not important, and we knew that. Like to our core selves, we knew it. So yeah, if it was like, but like I found that I was thinking about a lot of other things, and that I just wasn't like I would read every word without like comprehending it. I would go down the line and then get to the end and go, what was that I read? Because I really was multitasking over here, and again, like we can't really do that right now. Looking at a crow right now. Oh, cool. I had crows flying over right before I started the show, so it's not surprising they're magic coming in. That is rad. Two crows. Yeah, I had two. That is awesome. Yep, we already did that one. Sending her so much love and healing there too. I have been doing it for me too. Good. Awesome. So now we kind of caught up on all the comments. I'm going to take a drink of water. Man, yeah, I feel like living in California, I drink more water than I just have in so long. Like it just, maybe because it's so dry, and maybe I'm getting myself as hydrated. Like, well, I'm hydrating myself a lot more than I have in a very, very, very long time. But yeah, anyway, side note, I guess that is there. So anyway, I am just trying to think if there's much more like on my thoughts of kind of like these downloads. I'm really grateful. Like when I would have these anxieties popping up today, like some of the like things would be like disguised or guised as like lack of self-confidence or like trying to kind of create the idea in my mind that I wouldn't have the ability to say what I had just learned and all this kind of stuff is kind of sometimes where I will find my mind going. And I just had this point where I was just like, well, I'll either be able to say it or I won't be able to say it. Maybe I'm not supposed to talk about it on this show or however it goes. Maybe I trip all over my tongue for like during the show. But I do this like every single day. So it's not necessarily going to be a perfect show every single time. And I just kind of like I took that away where it was just like, so if that's not there, but I definitely believe in my ability. Like I know that it's there. I've been really hitting a lot of flow states like already in this show, and that's really cool because I'm recognizing that about myself and building more confidence when it comes to that. And so when that like anxiety or that self-doubt, kind of came in, or the fear that could be there was just like, no, we're not really going to do that today. In fact, here's the solution over here. I don't care. I know that I love doing this show and I'm passionate about it, and I love these people and I'm passionate about them. And so we're all in this together as a family. And that's really cool. Like that's what I care about way more than articulating myself perfectly. Like, in fact, I feel like I do a better job at it because of that. And yeah, it's cool. And that also gives a lot of pressure off that I would normally give to myself. And now that isn't so normal anymore. And that's cool. I mean, I think this is I don't remember what number this is episode wise, but like I'm past, the 21 days making it a habit. I'm getting farther than that. And like every day, like I get to learn and see something about myself. I know I haven't really gone back and looked at any of the episodes of myself, and it's kind of something Jasmine and I talked about last night. And then Zach ends up watching an episode of himself last night too, and we kind of rewatch it. And I'm like watching these people around me rewatching episodes, and I guess my most experience with that was with Robert putting together the music, and then all of a sudden just hearing like the purity of my own voice. Like I'm just speaking my heart and I'm speaking my truth within there. It's like it's has a tone to it, and I can hear that. And also when I play my flute, I'm like, whoa, I didn't realize I was that good. I didn't realize that I was actually playing what I wanted to be playing, like the way I wanted to be playing, which was to play well. And not only just like it's not about playing well, because like when I play, like I just step out of the way and I just listen to, like, I channel it, and I just hear it. It's like here's the flow, and I jump on, and it's cool to do that, and it's cool to hear that purity come out. And I think maybe it is a good thing to go back and look at yourself and be very loving and kind. And maybe the fact that I hadn't gone back was because I was afraid of my own, like, abilities to not beat myself up, to not have self doubt or judgment. And if that is the case, well, you know what? I should definitely jump out of that airplane and go check that out and make sure that I'm not doing that. So I haven't done that yet. This is what I'm processing and where I am now. But I can tell you that with that music, and I want to thank Robert very much for doing that, because that helped me. That helped me see certain aspects about me. And that's really cool. And I'm really glad to be doing this kind of every day and just meeting myself and meeting you. And that's why I say speak your truth over there if it's not a great day, or speak your truth if it is a really rad day and what you've learned. Because in this space, we get to learn to do that together. And why not? Where else do you get that outside in the outside world? Because there's a lot of things that are twisted out there. And this is a safe place. So it's a healing space. So, yes. Let's see. We had some comments. Oh, something else I'd like to talk about. Black bear medicine. We currently have a bear hanging around our place. Samantha has seen it at least 3 times in the last week. Ooh. Oh, it's episode 32. Awesome. 32. That's a 5. Woo. That is a good number too. Good number. So, okay, so 3 times in the last week. 3 is also like that's bringing it into your 3-dimensional reality, and now you just did that too by bringing it here. Love listening to the authentic you. Always been interesting. I love you guys so much. I'm gonna look up specifically black bear animal totem or animal medicine. Oh, that's funny. It just Well, the bear, I can just read this because I'm just trying to, oh, black bear. Black bear eating berries. Bear medicine, the power of introspection. Okay, let's figure it out. The power of introspection and offering to the eagle is what it says. Bear medicine is a powerful medicine, bringing healing, renewal, and birth. This is the gift that grandmother bear brings those who live with bear medicine. Also, the bear, like back, like up in Eskimos, like way back in time, like the female shaman, they called bear, which I found to be interesting. So bear medicine is powerful, bringing healing, renewal, and rebirth. Oh, I just read this. Is a gift that grandmother brings those who live with bear medicine. It could just as easily been a bear. That is so weird. Why did it do that? Sorry, this is a new website that I haven't looked at, so sometimes it's kind of a little bit more choppy. Bear medicine is the power associated with the spirit of the bear, particularly the bear's ability to heal, is known in virtually all cultures within the bear's range. The bear is known to seek plants for its own healing. North American brown bears are known to dig up Ligusticum porteri, not surprisingly known as bear root. The plant is known to have antibiotic properties, being good for stomach aches and repelling insects. Now that bears medicine, oh, it says it twice. If you know what I mean, they chew on it. Oh, now that bears medicine, if you know what I mean, they chew on it and then rub it on their fur for that feel good feeling. The Alaskan brown bears are known to well, do I want to go? Yeah, chew on sedge to rid themselves of tapeworm and parasites before hibernating. The common names for other plants in the bear medicine medical pack reflect bear's usage, like bearberry, bear's paw, bear tongue, bear clover, just to name a few. That is interesting. I didn't know that about the bear and the plants. I did not realize that most of the things they're eating are named after oh, wow, that is very fascinating. Bear medicine teaches us introspection, aiding us to digest our experiences, to discover within ourselves and the answers to all our questions. When we slow down and listen to what our intuition, our inner knowing voice tells us, we all have bear packs of wisdom and silent knowledge. It becomes useful for us to go within ourselves at times, able to uncover our own answers to whatever challenges we are facing, allowing us to be ourselves. However, just like bear, one needs to know when to come out of hibernation and to interact with the world around them. That is very good. Bear, invite me, entice me into the cave where silence surrounds through the winter days. I sleep in the cave like it's my grave, to be born again on a spring day, exploring new life with the answers you gave. Oh, that's a cool poem. Anyway, that was just like written in there. I don't know if that's in the book. Like this is, I don't think the same page. Let me see if it has specifically, because this is why I clicked it, was black bear medicine. Yeah, this is long. I'm not going to read all of this. I probably should have checked that out. There's a lot on this page when it comes to this bear medicine. Yeah, so I think that is pretty rad, Jacob. You're having some rebirth, renewal, and some real power of introspection coming into your life. And then also now into ours, permeating into our reality. I used to collect bears when I was a kid. One of my totems is definitely bear. But there was one point I think I had something like 87 teddy bears. I counted them all, and I was so proud. So bear medicine is definitely a very special one, near and dear to my heart. And I think that it is really a powerful time to do a lot of introspection. There is a lot happening, not just on our planet, but out into the universal solar system, with planets going into retrograde, summer solstice coming. I mean, stars are in retrograde, like fixed stars. And then also, what else is there? I mean, there's so many aspects that we have solar eclipses and lunar eclipses happening. And then also based off of one of the findings of the Tzolk'in Mayan calendar, though there has been several dates, it says that today would be actually like the end of the world, if you will, not the one that was in 2012. So today is a very fascinating day. So there's like a lot of energies brewing out into our realities. And again, it is all the things that are going on inside of you and how you interpolate that information, that it is working for you and not against you. But if you are not paying attention, it can very much feel like it's working against you. So, but it is not, I assure you. So, yes. Okay. So, what else? Let's, I feel kind of like at this point, it would be just really cool to just kind of go into meditation, pull in the bear animal totem, and then for you guys, is there any other animals? I know you mentioned the crow. We pull in the crow a lot. Like, I feel like the crow is always with us at this point. We could definitely call in more of the crow, but like literally, I feel the crow still inside of me. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but they definitely are circling around me all the time because, well, I've got a lot of crow medicine inside. Yeah, any thoughts on any other animals that you have observed and seen in your realities would be awesome. So Bear. Oh, that's funny, Jacob. Bear in my book is 5. And this is episode 32, as you had stated. It reminded me here. And so that's also 3 plus 2 is the 5. And 5 is magical number, also pulling in the crow. So yeah, no, now I realize the crow is totally coming into this meditation. That is funny. So, and page 57. So there's also a 5 in that, and 7 is, kind of the concept of the mind, body, spirit. That is interesting. Yeah. So I'm not going to read like the big part of Bear in this book, but I will read the poem, and then I'll pull the poem definitely in the meditation. So it says, Bear, invite me into the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. Did that sound a lot like the poem I just read? I think it did. Bear, invite me into the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. Oh, that's a really good one. That's a good one to ponder within this meditation. I like that. And asking that. Oh, okay. You want to pull in the rabbit. My name Jennifer breaks down. Like it took me a long time to find this information and follow the lineage back of the name Jennifer, but there's it does, and it will end up breaking down to what will take you back to Osiris and Isis is what the name, and it's not a wonder they have Jennifers all over the place. So again, our names are blessings and our curses, but the reason why I share that is because there's a hieroglyph. And it is that of the bunny is one of the symbols within that space, and rabbits. Like I had rabbits growing up, but rabbits are going to be fertility and some other aspects. So I like pulling in the idea of the rabbit, but there's also, and it's of course, Robert. I talk about anxiety, and on this episode, and so bunny would definitely be part of that. So I'm going to see if rabbit is actually in here. Oh, it is 30. I felt like it was. So there's the 330. I don't know what all that means. Oh, that's funny. Oh, I know what I just did. Page numbers. Oh gosh, that's funny. The page number is 157, and it was 57 for the bear that we just read. So there's 57s in there for sure. 157. Yay. Okay. Yeah, here. I talked about that anxiety. So this is good. Scared little rabbit, please drop your fright. Running doesn't stop the pain or turn the dark to light. So with the rabbit, a rabbit time. Let me go. A long time ago, no one really knows how long ago it was, Rabbit was a brave and fearless warrior. Rabbit was befriended by Eyewalker, a witch. The witch and Rabbit spent much time together, sharing and talking. The two were very close. One day, Eyewalker and Rabbit were walking along, and they sat down on the trail to rest. Rabbit said, "I'm thirsty." Eyewalker picked up a leaf, blew on it, and then handed Rabbit a gourd of water. Rabbit drank the water but didn't say anything. Then Rabbit said, "I'm hungry." Eyewalker picked up a stone and blew on it and changed it into a turnip. She gave the turnip to a rabbit to eat. Rabbit tasted it and then ate the turnip with relish, but still Rabbit didn't say anything. The two continued along the trail, which led into the mountains near the top. Rabbit tripped and fell and rolled almost to the bottom. Rabbit was in very sad condition when Eyewalker got to him. She used a magic salve on Rabbit to heal his great pain and mend his broken bones. Rabbit didn't say anything. Several days later, Eyewalker went searching for her friend. She searched high and low, but Rabbit was nowhere to be found. Finally, Eyewalker gave up. She met Rabbit quite by accident one day. "Rabbit, why are you hiding and avoiding me?" the witch asked. "Because I'm afraid of you. I'm afraid of magic," answered Rabbit, cowering. "Leave me alone." "I see," said Eyewalker. "I have used my magical powers on your behalf, and now you turn on me and refuse my friendship. I want nothing more to do with you or your powers," Rabbit countered. Rabbit did not even see the tears his words were bringing to Eyewalker's eyes. I hope we never meet and that I never see you again, Rabbit continued. Rabbit, Eyewalker said, we once were great friends and companions, but no more. It is within my power to destroy you, but because of the past and the medicines we have shared together, I will not do this. But from the day forward, I lay a curse on you and your tribe. From now on, you will carry your fears, and your fears will come to you. Be on your way, for the sweet medicines that bound us together as friends are broken. Now Rabbit is the fear caller. He goes out and shouts, Eagle, I am so afraid of you. If Eagle doesn't hear him, Rabbit calls louder, Eagle, stay away from me. Eagle, now hearing Rabbit, comes and eats him. Rabbit calls bobcats, wolves, coyotes, and even snakes until they come. As this story shows, rabbit medicine people are so afraid of tragedy, illness, disaster, and being taken that they call those very fears to them to teach them lessons. The keynote here is what you resist will persist. So good. What you fear most is what you will become. Here's the lesson. If you pulled rabbit, stop talking about horrible things happening and get rid of what if in your vocabulary. This card may signal a time of worry about the future or of trying to exercise your control over that which is not yet in form, the future. Stop now. Write your fears down and be willing to feel them, breathe into them, and feel them running through your body into Mother Earth as a giveaway. I like that idea. I like that a lot. I'm going to read the reverse. So the paralyzed feeling with rabbit experiences when being stalked as rabbit is the contrary position. If you have tried to resolve a situation in your life and are unable to, you may be feeling frozen in motion. This could indicate a time to wait for the forces of the universe to start moving again. It could also indicate the need to stop and take a rest. It will always indicate a time when you need to reevaluate the process you are undergoing and to rid yourself of any negative feelings, barriers, or duress. Simply put, you cannot have your influence felt until you rearrange your way of seeing the present set of circumstances. There is always a way out of any situation because the universal force does move on. It is the way in which you handle problems that allowed you to succeed. Take a hint from Rabbit. Burrow into a safe space to nurture yourself and release your fears until it is time again to move into the pasture, clear of prowlers who want a piece of your juicy energy. See, that was a very good suggestion, Robert. I love that. Bunny, I think, definitely was calling to, very much the theme of what my message was part of today and what I'm experiencing and seeing kind of out into reality. So I love that. I'm going to pull up Crow, and because I've read it a few times, I'm just going to read the poem if I already said that. Well, sometimes I'm redundant. All right. 24 and 133. It's right in between here. There it is. The universal law. It's the law. Crow, are you calling so I may know the secrets of balance within my soul? Or are you sending your sacred caw just to remind me of universal laws? I like that. I like it. So we're going to pull in those three and do our meditation today with, I'm going to put it on the hearts. So we're going to pull in the crow, the bear. Why did I just do that? That's so funny, right? The rabbit. So funny. Of course, that one was the one. It was my own level of self avoidance when calling in the rabbit. It has much to teach me. It has much to share about this message and journey. And so it's funny when you can have like that brain lapse and really get an opportunity to see kind of where you are. You're just like, oh, I see this. It's rad. It's really cool. So. If you guys haven't already and you have water by you, I would suggest just drinking some water and setting your intentions with that, and opening yourself up to being the beautiful receiver that you are and we all are. And if you can find a seated position or lie down if that feels better to you today. And we will begin with just starting with your breath. Today, we're going to start with some box breathing so that I think it's a good one when we talk about the anxieties, because it's a very good breath to come to when you are having any kind of anxious situations. It's a good one to loop and really balance yourself. So starting with the box breathing, we're going to do it with 4 seconds. So you're going to take a breath in for 4 seconds, starting now. So breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold that breath, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, or hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Very good. Go ahead and just let that go and come back to just normal breathing. Very, very good work. I want to take note that there was a rabbit that has already come into one of your realities, as the rabbit was called. It came into your yard. Robert, that is very rad. Breathe in through your nose now and exhale out through your nose. And with your inhalations, breathe in positive energies. Breathe in your love and exhalate the slough dead energy out through your roots, out through your feet. And inhalate joy, happiness, laughter, enlightenment, ahas, enjoyment. And exhalate any of the negative dense energy out into the earth. Any of the jitters. Anything that's not here in peace may go. Very good. And now in your mind, draw a triangle above your head and connect this triangle underneath your feet, all points of the triangle beneath your feet. And then below you, draw another triangle and connect those points above your head. So now you are sitting within an upside down and right side up pyramids, your Merkaba, your safe place, inside the void, inside the darkness of the purest crystalline light. Weird. Breathe that in. The crystalline light. And breathe it out into your auric field, that crystalline light. Beautiful. And now, above your head, take your wiring system and create a toroid around your body. So take a wire and pull it up from the top of your head and circle it out and around and down and back up through the middle of you. And do that several times with many wires. We're creating a donut around you, and you are the center of this donut. And now take a wire and pull it up and push it out to the left and circle it out and down and up back into you. And now you are inside your toroid, inside your Merkaba, inside the void. And breathe in that crystalline light. And exhalate it down into your roots and down into the earth, creating a system of light up and down, as above, so below. And breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Where is your tongue? Place it on the roof of your mouth if it is not already. And breathe. Very good. Now, off to your right, I've placed a box. Can you see it? Walk over to that box and open it up. Inside this box, we're going to take off our masks that we wear and feel that we must. Take those off. The one where you feel like you have to show up and be happy when you don't feel that way. The mask where you're irritated but not saying. You know the masks. You don't need them here. And take off your meat suit, your body, anything that looks like this, and put it in the box. You are the light. You are a bright, beaming light. Can you see yourself as this? This space, this spirit, this you? A great ball of light? working your own beautiful system within this space, creating here, creating. And now we're going to pull in some things. Up above your head, do you see the bear? There's a bear that has come in here. Do you see it? It is a great black bear with a cute light brown nose. Can you see it? Take the wires that are on top of your head. You have an abundance of them. But these ones in particular, they look like your strands of your helixing DNA. And take them, the crystalline strands, and hook it into the bear's heart. Just attach it there. Attach it there. Bear, invite me in to the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. And breathe in this bear. This bear is here to bring you introspection. Breathe him in so that you can see. Breathe him in through your crown and into your mind. The great grandmother spirit that you are. Oh, how fun. The grandmother spirit is so loving and so kind. Breathe it into your third eye, through your nose and down your throat. Breathe her in, into your heart. Here in this space, she shows you love. You loving you. And how great you are. How loving you are. How beautiful you are. And breathe in the bear. Breathe it down into your solar plexus, down into your stomach, into your belly. And here in this space, the bear helps you have your intuition by looking within. And breathe this bear down into your sacral chakra, down into your pelvis. Coming in and giving you the love and quelching the fear. Giving you the strength. Helping you see that it was always you. Strong, powerful, loved. So good. Breathe it in and breathe it down into your root. Breathe her down through the wires of your feet, the red wires into the earth. And allow the bear to roam out into your toroidal field and out into your universe, and breathe her back in into that space. Very good. Very good indeed. Now breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Can you hear her? Can you feel her? What does she have to say to you? Thank you for being here, bear. Now we pull our attention back up above our heads. And we call into the crow. We call the crow back. Caw, crow, you are cawing so I may know the secrets of balance within my soul. Or are you sending your sacred caw just to remind me of universal law? Thank you for coming back and being with us, never leaving, allowing us to take the next right indicated step. See the crow and attach your wires to the heart and breathe it back in through your crown and into your mind and into your throat, cawing your truth, cawing. And breathe it down into your heart where the magic that you are creating exists. It will help you navigate this. And breathe it in and down, the crow down, giving you wings down into your belly. You are powerful and strong. No reason to be anxious here. Anything you can imagine can be so. And breathe it down into your sacral chakra until your relational areas, into this space where love in this space and balance and quelching your fears. You are the magician. You are this. And breathe the crow down through your legs and out through your feet, out through your wire systems to the earth and fly. Allow your crow to go wherever it wants to go, spreading its message as far as it can go, as far as you can imagine. And breathe it back in and breathe it back out. Beautiful work. Beautiful work. And now, we call upon Rabbit, bringing Rabbit in. Oh, Rabbit, what is there to fear? I am my highest version of myself. Oh, Rabbit, thank you for being here. Take your wires from your head and connect it to the heart of the rabbit. This rabbit is so fertile. It spreads many seeds. Let's spread the seeds of love, of people falling in love with people falling in love. Sacred little rabbit, please drop your fright. Running doesn't stop the pain or turn the dark to light. Breathe in the rabbit. The rabbit comes to also help show you when the rabbit is startled in fear. You will either freeze or flee. This is good to know. There is a lot to learn here. We love you, Rabbit. Thank you for coming. Thank you for showing us the lessons that we can know. And breathe in the rabbit down through your crown and down into your third eye, into your mind. And breathe it down into your throat and down into your heart. It is the softest creature, the buzz of frequency. It has a high, high frequency of love thumping, thumping, thumping into your reality. Thumping. Love. Love you so. And breathe this rabbit down into your solar plexus, into your belly. And here you overcome your fears, your anxieties, and down into the solar plexus, down into your sacral chakra, down into these spaces, bringing you strength, bringing you the ability of creation that is you. Here is where you create. Beautiful, beautiful. Long ears to hear, so that I might hear those frequencies creating love and geometry. And breathe it down, down your root, down and out your feet into the earth. And allow that bunny to play, that rabbit to bounce around, forwards and backwards. A rabbit is very fast, but it also knows when to freeze. Breathe it back in and back out. And in this space, quiet your mind and hear what they have to show you. Breathe them back in, and I will play. I will play. Oh, how that was so much fun. How are you breathing? Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Very good. Thank you, animals, for coming. Thank you, Rabbit, for being here and sharing with me and sharing with you. This is our sacred space we build. The place that we build a love, loving you. Because you are worth it. And you are great. And you are kind and caring and loyal and loved and strong and brilliant and a badass you. I love you. And thank you, Crow, and thank you, Bear. This introspection helps me see. And you. Very good. And now we come back to our Merkaba and back to the box. If you need anything from that box that you wish to take back with you, go and get it and put it back on. I love you, you bright, brilliant thing you are. I love you. And then come back to your space and back to your heart. You are a receiver. All information is at your fingertips, but kind of like above your head and all around. Everything you need to know is inside of you. And you are so rad. Please take your right hand and put it over your heart. To give yourself love. You give yourself love so that you can know love. Look at you. Brilliant, kind, compassionate. You. And take your left hand and put it over your right and receive and give and give and receive and cycle that energy. I love you. I love you. Listen to your heart. Do what you want to do. Be your authentic you. And I love you. Here you liberate. Here you guide. And your gut will tell you your truth. It's all a system working for you. And breathe it in and breathe it out. The most abundance of love, breathe it into your reality and out into your reality. And back into your reality and out. Beautiful work. And come back. Come back here. Nice. And when you are ready, take your arms and wrap them around your body like a hug, a ginormous hug. I am right there with you, and I love you and I care about you. You are not alone. We are on a journey of unification. Isn't it grand? I love you. And here I am hugging you, though there is no difference of space and time. I am right there with you whenever you need. Just close your eyes and see and feel me. It is always spoken in love, in the greenest of energies, or the crystalline energy too. That's all colors connects to me. Anytime you need me, I am there, inside this space. And you are there. And I love you. Okay, guys. One more breath in and out, and open your eyes. So beautiful. So good. I am so grateful to be here with you every day. How rad is that about my life? And now yours too. We get to do this. It's awesome. Very, very awesome. Very cool. Yes. So drink some water if you have anything close by. And as I come to a close with each one of you, I want to let you know that on the new moon, 3 days from now, I believe, my head is a little fuzzy. I will give you the exact day. We will be doing a new moon ceremony again with Maya Rose. Hi, Maya. I love you. I see you in here. It's rad. So Maya will be back on the show. She has the most innate ability to sing the light language that just permeates my soul. And I'm very, very excited to be able to have her back. And maybe she'll show us some of her really cool artwork because she is a very beautiful artist that can also paint the light language as well. So Maya, I love you. Thank you for being here. And then also on Tuesday, Sierra has been, she's kind of come in here a few times. She's just recently written a book. And she's a super rad girl. I had an opportunity to work with her quite like for almost a year on a daily basis. And it's really cool to see what she has decided to create for her life. And that she is coming in to kind of be, or has been kind of popping in and being part of this community. And Willow, I saw that you had posted on your page about Sierra's book. And I ended up sending her that message. Like I took a picture of it, and I just think it's so rad how we can have new people come in, and it is such a cool, loving space where we can just support each other and keep that flow going and that growth happening. And again, you are the best and most incredible version of yourself right now. It's just remembering that you already remember that. So I want to, I know I kind of sidely made this, but I want to make extra notice. Robert says, holy shit, a bunny has been living in my yard for 2 weeks. We've been sitting looking into each other's eyes yesterday and today. No bunny. I must have scared him away with my magic. Oh, that's so funny. I thought that you were saying, I didn't even read it. I was like, oh, of course a bunny must, I see as my assumptions. But yeah, the medicine has come, and now you've interpolated it inside. Whatever the message of the bunny for you was, there's quite a lot of angles to bunny medicine, and once we get that medicine, they often go. And maybe you did scare them away with your magic. Yeah. Magic is very, very powerful and can be perceived pretty scary sometimes, but no. No. That is so funny. That is awesome. I love, though, that you've had the bunnies coming into your life. I think bunnies are really, really cool. Really rad creatures, and I love to pet them. So thank you. Love you all. I love you too, Sammy, and I'm so glad that you're in here and here every day. It's so cool. And I'm grateful for everyone that comes here every day as well. Thank you, everyone. Yes, thank you, you guys, for being here. I love and care about you very much, and I send you so much love on the rest of your day, and I hope to see you back in here tomorrow, and again for the new moon ceremony coming up. Oh, and also tomorrow is Zachary's birthday, so it should be a very awesome day. Though we don't necessarily celebrate our birthdays the same way. I think it's neat when we circle the sun once more around this earth, but I don't think age is so real, but it's pretty cool things that are happening in reality and getting to share these days with you. So have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully I'll see you back in here with Zach and Erin's show that is at 8 p.m. So just in a little while. So I love you. Have a great rest of your night and day, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.